Okay everyone, so I'm not going to do a video, but I was going to just make you a little recording real quick and send it over to you. So the cleanse is cleansing your mind, body, and spirit. So you're going to choose one behavior that you want to keep your eye on. Remember, mine was needing to be right or playing the devil's advocate. But also make a note of it. Kind of like, oh, today I was with so-and-so and I was needing to be the devil's advocate and blah, 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 whatever. And just kind of make note of it. You can journal about it. But then just don't do it. If it's you never apologize or you need to be right or whatever. The things that bug you the most in other people: selfish people, passive aggressive people, jealous people, angry people, depressed people, attention seekers, people pleasers. What are some other ones? People that beat around the bush, people that are shallow. I don't know. You'll find the things that bug you the most about other people. That's going to be what you should work on. So I usually will choose one thing, and then usually like sometimes halfway through the cleanse I'll change to something else, or like after like a couple days or a week I'll redo my list of 5 things that I can't stand, or 5 things that I'm noticing in other people that bother me. And if I'm noticing that people beating around the bush is really bugging me, then I'll be like, okay, I need to work on being more direct and setting boundaries and being able to say no, and not just lying to get out of stuff so I don't have to say no, or because I don't have boundaries, instead of telling somebody that I'm not going to give them a free reading 15 times over the next couple days, instead I say I'm sick or something, so just look at the reasons or the intentions behind why you are doing what you do, because that is what you're cleansing from your life. Okay, so me being the devil's advocate is the root of that is more kind of like, it's only with Jeff, it's not with anybody else, it's usually with Jeff. And I found that the root is because I think he's closed-minded. So I'm trying to prove to him that there's other ways to see life. So in a way, I'm trying to be right. I'm trying to impress my closed-minded opinions upon him. So everything's kind of like a reflection of us that comes back at us. And if you just kind of keep digging as to why you're doing something, and you just keep saying, well, why was I doing that? Why was I doing that? And then why was I doing that? You'll find the root of your unhappiness a lot of the time is based on this ego need to do something or whatever. So that's the mind. That's your ego thing that you're going to work on. You also want to look at things that you admire about other people during the cleanse, because what you admire in other people is what your spirit is kind of destined to do. I was telling a couple of you the other day that I had created an entire healing modality and was going to create something called elemental healing. It's a quantum healing. I had all the frequencies of all the elements on the periodic table. I had that huge 8-page, huge post-it chart thing of all the frequencies of all the soul levels and the soul groups, and the frequencies of all the diseases and how to heal all the diseases and change DNA and regrow limbs and just all this crazy stuff. And when my guides told me that our purpose is what we admire in other people, and to ask myself that from that kind of point of view, like, okay, who do I admire? And I looked towards famous people, and even though Gabby Bernstein bugs me, I admire her like showmanship, I guess, like how she gets to be on stage and she gets to affect and help like thousands of people all at once. And the thing I admire about her, or like her career, is that she's a minister. Not that she's a coach, not that she's a healer, not that she's a writer, none of that. It was the minister. I admired the ministering about her. and I admired Sonia Choquette, not because she's a medium, not because she's a channel, but because she's an intuition development teacher, and she helps like the kindergartners. She helps, after people wake up, realize that everybody has abilities, and she's going to lead them and guide them and help them with the beginner stuff, and then let them go into the world. So based upon that, I decided not to create a healing modality, and my life is so much better because of it. So I went back to teaching Discovering Your Intuition with Reiki, and I absolutely love it, as you can tell. I love teaching the class. So also look at the things that you admire in other people. Not just the person. You don't have to admire the person. The person could bug you, but like what they do or how they do it. And that's kind of your indication of what you want to be doing with your life. So that's something that's fun to do before the cleanse, and kind of like recheck yourself every few days. Like, am I still feeling I'm the same? Am I still feeling like I'm going in the right direction? And it can change all the time. Now I look at people like Tony Robbins, who I'm not a big fan of Tony Robbins, and I don't even know any of his work. But again, it's like the ministering stuff, like on stage in front of people, that I'm kind of like focused towards again, rather than, the individual sessions and stuff like that. Whereas prior, I really admired this healer teacher that I had that had her own private practice, and my Reiki master, basically. But anyways, so that's that. So ask yourself that question. So that's the mind. The body is drinking half your body weight in water. So if you weigh 100 pounds, drink 50 ounces a day. If you tend to run dehydrated, you can take a little piece of Himalayan sea salt and put that in your water. Not enough to make it gross, just enough to put some in there. It'll help to hydrate you. And it's also, if you say Reiki go and you fill it up with Reiki before you put it in the water, then you'll have Reiki water. With your water, you can run Reiki to your water, like your water bottle. Put it in your hands, close your eyes. And remember, before you do, let me kind of go over this real quick. Before you do Reiki, you need to get into your heart. So you can either place your hand on your heart, and you can ask your mind, hey, where's my heart space? Show me, or allow me to feel it. Or, hey, brain, bring my attention to my heart space, and allow your attention to go there. I used to have to actually bring all of my attention to the center of my brain and actually imagine, because I was talking to a few people after class, and they're like, I don't see anything. I didn't see anything for 3 years. I was a channel. I did channeling, a trance channel. So I didn't see anything or feel anything. I was very psychic. I could give messages, but I didn't know where they were coming from or anything. So that's why when I started seeing, I'm like obsessed with figuring out everything that I'm seeing. But you can pull all your attention to the center of your brain. Imagine there's a little elevator in there, and then just say heart space. And imagine that little elevator dropping down, and you can imagine watching, like looking at yourself in front of you, with a little person dropping down from the brain into the heart, or you can imagine it in you dropping from your brain to your heart, or you can actually imagine that you're in an elevator and you're pushing a button called heart space and you're dropping down into it. But either way, your intention is that you're going to end up in your heart space. All your energy is going to be there. And you'll probably say, well, how do I know if it's all there or not? You don't know if it's all there or not. But if you intend for it to be there, it will eventually be there. So just set the intention. I am now in my heart space. Pull all your attention in there. And when you get there, the thing that I attuned you guys to is the 0 point. And I go into it more in Reiki too. But because I attuned you guys, not everybody can do this. When you say 0, that will bring you into your awareness. It'll bring you into the 0 point. You can look up 0 point online if you don't know what that is. And we all have a 0 point within us, which means we all have God within us. Okay, so there's a little silver line that goes from our heart all the way down to the center of the earth and connects with the 0 point in the earth. And then there's a little silver line that goes from the center of our heart up into the center of source, where the 0 point is there too. So when you get into the heart space, say 0, and just kind of breathe in and out, relax, and then say 0 ground. And imagine a bolt going down to the earth. I used to see it as like a cable that they hold the buildings up with. You know, those big, when they're putting buildings. Okay, where's my heart space? Show me. Compassionate witness, quantum Reiki. It's important that you know that you have a 0 point within you that knows everything. Feet to open like little trumpets, and then pull. And I explain it more in Reiki too, but it basically just balances you out with the 0 point. So say you have a disease in your knee, the neutral earth energy is going to pull in the exact opposite energy of that and bring you back to 0, bring you back to balance. So that neutral earth energy filling up your feet and your whole body, and then allow it to spill out throughout your entire field and fill up your entire higher self. You are now your higher self. You're connected with all the information in the 0 point. You're in your heart, and now you're ready to do quantum Reiki. If you don't want to do any of that, if you just say Reiki go, Reiki is still going to work. It's just not going to be quantum Reiki. It's going to be more like the type where you say Reiki go, and the Reiki energy is going to kind of come into you, kind of like music playing. In fact, it'll literally be like you're a stereo and you just turned the station to Reiki station, and your entire body's vibrating with the frequency of Reiki, which is unconditional love. It's the life force energy that makes this up. It's chi, it's prana, it's source, basically. But it doesn't come from anywhere. It doesn't, pour into you or anything like that. I like to visualize that just to kind of get past my mind that doesn't believe anything, because I'm so skeptical. But your body will just start vibrating at the frequency of Reiki, and because of that, your hand chakras that were attuned will start shooting out Reiki. So you can put Reiki into water, you can put it into food, you can put it into a bath, you can put it around your shower head, put it around your car, but that's more like you're running it kind of like water into stuff. And that's like the fourth dimensional way. The fifth dimensional way, you have to connect in with your awareness, which is your quantum self. And once you're connected in with that heart space, you can really literally just say, okay, show me my house. Imagine a dollhouse and say, okay, Reiki, go. And imagine all the Reiki going down over your house, filling it, dissolving anything that's nasty, and making it completely clear and putting a big bubble around it, and it's done. Boom, done. So you can do this two different ways. So with your self-healing, after you've decided, do I want to do this the 4D way or the quantum way? I would say go the quantum way, because you can do it both ways that way. And honestly, getting into your heart, like I can do it right now. I can just say, I have my hand on my heart. I just said zero ground, zero source, calling in my higher self. Thank you. And now I just see me in a bubble in my heart, and that's it. I'm done. So it doesn't take long. It's very fast. You can do it when you're driving even. I'm just kind of walking you through it slower. So that's getting into your heart space, and that's the difference between the quantum Reiki and the regular Reiki. The quantum Reiki, if you want to do your self-healing that way, you just sit down for your meditation or for your self-healing, and you would just close your eyes, and I always put my hands in prayer position, and I'll say Reiki go, and I just feel as the Reiki turns on in my hands, like into like a big huge ball of energy, kind of like how I taught you guys. And then once the ball gets big enough, I imagine the ball going up to my crown, and it starts at my crown and just goes into my head and starts clearing my head, and then it moves down and it starts clearing my shoulders and my neck and my throat and my top of my body, my torso, my chest, all that. And then at some point it usually runs out, so then I'll say Reiki go, and I make another little Reiki ball. And then once that Reiki ball is there, goes up, comes back down, and continues to cleanse and clear me. So you can do your self-healing treatment that way, the quantum way, where you're just allowing your imagination to witness the Reiki ball healing you. The other way would be the way that the book talks about, which you can read about, which is, I didn't bother going over it because the book goes over it so well. And you can also YouTube, you can say self-healing treatment, Asui Reiki, level 1, self-healing. And it's like every single person's exactly the same. It's basically you just activate Reiki, and starting at the top, like how I had you guys put your hand on your forehead and on the occiput in the back of your head. Put your hand on the forehead, on the back of the head. And once you sit there for like a minute or two, you'll start to kind of feel the energy surging through you. And then you start at the top of your head where the crown is, which you'll see in the book or online. Look up Reiki Rays, like I said, at class. Reiki Rays has an amazing manual. The Reiki Bible does. That other book I showed you does too, the Reiki manual. And you basically just go through for 3 minutes on each chakra and just sit there with your hands on your chakra. So it'd be your crown, and then your third eye, and your throat, your heart, solar plexus, your second chakra, and then your root. And then I do the knees at the same time, and then both of my feet at the same time. So it comes out to being a total of 30 minutes, because I do 3 minutes with the thing that I showed you guys in class, and then I do 3 minutes on each chakra, 3 minutes on my knees, and 3 minutes on my feet. So that's an actual like manual self Reiki treatment where you're running energy through the chakras. And what you can do is keep your journal with you.